there. I am the essence of femininity, also known as I'm Yellow Butterfly for YouTube. I am a certified professional life and recovery coach, and that is codependency recovery. Many of you probably remember this vlog from 2020 when I self-discovered my own codependency, and from that has blossomed into a beautiful journey of healing, and now I am a coach. So with that said, please visit the link in the bio, schedule your consultation so that we can get you started on your healing journey of codependency. Excuse me. So tonight I want to talk to you a little bit about codependent parents. And you're going to see me glancing down because I wanted to be a little thorough with this. I didn't want to leave anything out. This is an important message in my opinion. I, as a parent, also displayed many of the traits that I'm going to go over with you when it comes to codependency. And my daughter is an adult. I'm thankful that she and I have had opportunities to talk through. I could go back to her and explain some of my behaviors, apologize for some of my behaviors, and also encourage her to be authentic. And I think being a coach helps with this, being able to have these conversations. I'm just grateful, so much gratitude that she and I are able to have these conversations. But I want you to understand how your parenting as a codependent parent could have some negative implications on their adulthood as they grow older. Over-involvement is one of them. We may excessively become involved in our children's lives, trying to help them make decisions and solve their problems for you by not allowing them to have natural consequences. And what I mean by that is I'm gonna be as transparent as I can, utilizing my own experience. Just from my childhood and from what it was like for me growing up, there was so much that I wanted to pour into my daughter because it was not poured into for me. Yes, I know you're saying, well, if you didn't have it happen and you're telling us not to do it and that you still ended up codependent. Yeah, there's a fine line. There's a fine line of it, and there's a balance of how much we insert ourselves and how it's done, okay? And that's something that we go over in the coaching whenever I coach you, is how it's done properly. But for an example, even narrowing down the college that she went to, I was so vocal the choices she should make about where she should go to college, what type of jobs she should look for. I have gone to the extent of even helping her sort employers who work for this company, apply for this, apply for that, helping with the resume, doing all sorts of things. That should be her experience. That should be her experience, her life, her choice. I should not. That's a form of control. I should not be controlling those decisions in her life. I should not have that over-involvement. And because of the codependency, I inserted myself. And even, I always tell everybody, sometimes you're going to have those codependent moments that slip up. Even now, there are times when we're having conversations or there's something going on in her life and I want to jump in and save her, or I want to make it right, or I want to do it. And I have to hands off and say, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to do that. I catch myself, and yes, I apologize. Many of you feel that you don't have to apologize to your children. You should. It's healthy. It's respectful. Respect goes both ways, up and down. Up as a parent and down as a child. It's necessary, okay? If you feel that because you are the parent, you know everything and everything is the right way and the highway or the byway, well, let's just say, I'm sure there's some silent or hidden resentment there, but that's a topic for a whole different time. A lack of boundaries. As a codependent parent, we pour into our children so much, we spoil them. And there is a lack of boundaries. We struggle to establish healthy boundaries with our children, and we will allow them to even invade our personal space and time and our emotions without any limitations. This is not my story, but I can remember hearing people say that they was dating someone and they stopped dating them because their son didn't like them, or their son doesn't want them dating, so they're just going to wait until their son is an adult and move out, and then they'll start their life. Looking back on that now, I'm like, wow, lack of boundaries with our kids. And I have even started establishing boundaries with my own daughter because, like I said, I've always wanted her to have support and love, and I just never wanted her to have any feelings of abandonment or rejection or any of the things that I felt as a child growing up. So I would always say yes. I can remember telling her at times, whatever you want. Anytime she would ask for something, I would say to her, you know what, sweetheart, whatever you want. We go to the fair, we go to an amusement park, we'll go somewhere on vacation, we go shopping. Mom, can I have this? Whatever you want, my love. That's what I say. You can have whatever you want, but that's not good. Because in the real world, it's not like that. It's not designed that way. So we have to be cautious of the signals and messages that we're sending to them. And even though she was a child, when I was saying those things, I still catch myself saying it sometimes as an adult. And then I have to pull back and say, whoa, Val, get it together. Those moments of codependency, they will still creep up. Being self-aware is what helps you to realize, no, this is a codependent moment. Let me just pull back, let me backpedal, let me not do it this way. Okay. Difficulty saying no. I think I just covered that. Excuse me. I had something to eat earlier and I just keep clearing my throat. But difficulty saying no. I still sometimes feel guilty when she needs something and I say no to her. And I felt guilty saying no to her when she was a smaller child. I felt guilty when I had to discipline her. I felt like I found myself asking her, even as an adult, are you upset with me if I don't do this? Will you be upset with me if I don't do that? Will I make you mad? Are you mad at me? And honestly, respect goes both ways. There's respect up and respect down. When I say respect up, meaning respecting as a parent, respecting down as a child. But it doesn't necessarily mean that saying no is disrespectful, okay? It doesn't necessarily mean that if your child or whoever gets upset with you for saying no, that's an emotion that they have to sit with and experience and learn to deal with. And I didn't always understand that. I didn't always understand it. I understand it now. And these are some things that I have to go back and backpedal and say, I used to feel this way, and I used to, I talk through things with her because I want her to understand that it's almost like I'm trying to go back and correct some of the errors that I've recognized. Okay. Next, I want to talk about sacrificing personal needs. Now, this is a good one. As parents, we often prioritize our children's needs above our own, neglecting self-care. There are times I would go shopping with friends, our ladies' day hanging out. I had a sitter. I didn't have to worry about having a child. I could go hang out with my girls. I would end up going shopping with the ladies, but I would end up in the children's department buying clothes for her or getting something for her, always thinking about her. This is as a parent. Now, I also see this as a child. This is what I did as a child, always doing stuff for other people, thinking of other people. We always put ourselves last as codependent, and we do it as parents too. Well, I'm not going to get myself this. We think that we're supposed to self-sacrifice everything because we're parents. This is going to shock you. That's not true. It's not true. You don't have to self-sacrifice every single thing. You can say, no, I'm not going to buy them that shirt. I'm going to get a necklace for myself instead. And guess what? Nothing will happen. It doesn't mean you're a bad parent. No one told me this. I'm just learning this. But hey, that was codependency back then. And as a coach, I see this. I have conversations with people. And now it's like, wow, I sit and I smile because the epiphany that they receive when we have these conversations of what to do. Let's continue. Seeking validation from our children. Because we lacked that emotional connection with our parents, we want to make sure that we have it with them, and so we're always trying to seek validation with our children. I did this. I would always say, well, honey, I don't ever want us to have a different, I don't want you to ever feel like you can't talk to me. I always want to be there for you. I love you to death, them down. We'd say it to them so much till they're just beating over the head, like, oh my gosh. We're just, oh, kissy, kissy, lovey, lovey. And we just really seek so much validation through our own children, and we don't realize how often we do it. But guess what? That is not healthy. That is not healthy. It's almost teaching them in a way to kind of be emotionally unavailable because we're doing too much as a parent. And you're thinking, well, how? Check the link in the bio, connect with me, schedule your consultations, I'll tell you more. Difficulty letting go. We struggle with letting our children grow into themselves, grow into their own identity. We struggle with letting them become who they are destined to become. We try to control who are they going to be when they grow up, and that is not for us to do. That's another form of control. That's not for us to do. It's for them to be who they are. We don't like it when people control us. So when we're controlling our kids, why do we think they like it? They don't like it either. We don't like being controlled. I sure hells don't like being controlled. I don't want anyone controlling me. I don't like it. No one likes to be controlled. I don't know one person says, hey, please control me. Please tell me what to do and just stay on my neck about everything. I don't know anyone like that. If that exists, I'm just ignorant to the fact of it. But nobody likes being controlled, and we have to give that same respect to our children and allow them to let go and grow into their own identity, their own art. Here we are, codependent, growing into our own authenticity, but we're not allowing our children to grow into their own authenticity. So we have to let them grow into being their independent selves, establishing who they are, making their mark on the world, and being authentic. Overprotectiveness. Ooh. This was me. This is me. I think it still is me a little bit. And she's an adult. But every time she's around people, I'm like, who is that? So, and as a child, yeah, I wouldn't date when she was a child. I was one of those people. Not because she didn't want me dating. I didn't trust anybody, and I just wanted her to have my full undivided attention. I just made her my entire existence. So, that is something that we try to shield them from challenges and hardship and negative experiences. And when we do that, we're blocking them from building their own resilience. We're keeping them from building their own resilience. Emotional dependency. We rely on them for emotional support sometimes. The things that go wrong in our lives, we call them and we talk to them about it, or we talk to them about it when they're children in our lives. And I can remember my daughter being a young girl, and I had gone through some really hard experiences at work. And I took off that day a bit and got her out of class. And we went and had ice cream. We just had a great day. But she was my emotional support. Now looking back, I realized how wrong that was to her. She was like, yay, I got the best mommy. I get to get out of school. We get to go play on the slides and the swings and eat ice cream and go to Dairy Queen and get hot dogs and all this stuff. But it was not good. And that was me leaning on my child for emotional support. And I think now when I look at so many people using their platforms on social media, they're angry inside. They got so much anger. Oh, women this and men this. And I think it's from all of this. A lot of this, because codependency has a lot of control in it too. Codependency, you're not just a victim. You are controlling some situations yourself. A lot of times codependent people, oh, I'm codependent. The narcissist is the bad guy. No, codependency has some bad things too. It can be very controlling at times. So this is one of those controlling moments, all right? That's the emotional dependency that I spoke about. And enabling behaviors. We enable unhealthy behaviors in our children, such as being irresponsible, or we rescue them from some of their consequences of things that they've done, or we make excuses for their mistakes and their behaviors instead of allowing things to just flow. Again, that's control. We're trying to control their atmosphere so they don't feel the things, the elements of, or the consequences, or the hurt, or it's just a lot there to unpack. It's a lot there to unpack. And then there's the guilt, and then there's the shame. And again, I talked about, if we don't meet our children's expectations, or we feel maybe we are meeting their expectations, but we put so much pressure on ourselves, we feel like we're not being there for them. Or I can remember getting my daughter. I still remember this moment, and every time I think about this moment, I feel so bad. I worked so much so that we could have and never have to rely on any type of government assistance, and to have a decent life. I worked really, really hard, and my daughter had prepared for her speech in her school play for so long. I rushed. I was so excited. I locked my keys in my car keys in my desk, and I left work late. I'm rushing. I'm tearing up the streets trying to get to her, to get her home, get her changed into her pretty little dress so she can get back to the school to be on stage. That just was such a horrible experience because she needed her note cards. I left them, like everything. I just feel like I failed her because she stood on that stage and she just looked around at all of those faces looking at her. Oh my gosh, just telling this story now just makes me want to cringe. I'm leaving out so many details, of course, for the sake of time, but I'm just making light of this story. But it was just a moment. I still remember the date. I remember what she had on. I remember what the air smelled like. I remember the car. I remember the temperature outside. I remember everything. I remember so much. And that is a moment that I feel like I failed her. When I talk to her about it now, she has no clue. She's like, I don't know what you're talking about. I don't even remember. And here I am still brokenhearted over it. And she doesn't even remember the experience. She don't even remember the play. It was back when she was in K5. She doesn't even remember. She's like, I have no clue what you're talking about. So there you have it. But addressing these behaviors with your coach, with me as your coach, these are some things to hopefully help you turn around to prompt healthy behaviors in your child. Not only to be healthy as a parent and to overcome the codependency, but you want your children to grow with the best experiences that you don't provide for them, but they experience for themselves. Let them experience life. There's a way to do it, and that's what I coach you through. I coach you through the proper way to do it. And it took some learning for me. But I'm here now, so. I hope you enjoyed the video. I want you to do me a favor and follow me on all of my social media outlets. I'm on TikTok, Instagram, and Facebook as The Essence of Femininity. Also Pinterest. And I'm on YouTube as I'm Yellow Butterfly. Until next time, have a great one. Bye-bye.